once you get them under contract, you pretty much have control over what you can do with that. The most important thing that you can do in real estate, the most important skill that you have, is not about having a bunch of money. It's really about getting the property under contract. All right. So I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in a second. Talk about that a little bit more in a second. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna get into the presentation. All right. So I want to have this mindset shift for everybody who believes that you need to have good credit and access to a lot of money. Getting the money is not a problem. And I mean that, you guys. Getting the money is not a problem. You just have to know how to go out and find the deals. All right. Which is what I teach you guys every Wednesday. As long as you know how to go out and get the deals, getting the money is not going to be a problem. So I'm about to share my screen. Give me 1 second. I'm about to share my screen with you guys. All right, let me see. Can you guys see my PowerPoint? Hold on. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. All right, there we go. All right, cool. Let me blow this up real quick. Let me blow this up. So I'm gonna do this presentation. And then hopefully you guys take this information and you just start taking action. I'm gonna do this presentation, and then at the very end, I'm going to sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to blow this up. At the end, I'm going to show you guys how to use the deal evaluator. Um, Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out how to blow this up so you can see it. Um, hold on. There we go, from the beginning. All right. All right, cool. Was that up? There we go. Am I good? Am I good? Can somebody give me a thumbs up and let me know I'm good? Am I frozen? Am I frozen? Somebody let me know in the chat. Am I frozen or am I good? It looks like I'm frozen on my end. Hold on. I feel like I'm frozen. Am I good, y'all? Let me know in the chat. Am I frozen or am I good? We good. All right, cool, cool. All right, thank you. All right, so let's get into it. So this is how to close deals with little to no cash or credit. Again, y'all, so this is going to give you guys a mindset shift. So everybody that put me in the chat earlier, for those of you who are just hopping on, I asked everybody who feels like they can't even think about real estate right now until they get their credit in order or until they have access to a bunch of funding. So that's absolutely not true. All right, so I'm going to walk you through my top methods on how you guys can get started in real estate right now while you're getting your credit together. All right, my screen is frozen. Give me a second, y'all. All right, we're gonna skip past this. All right, actually, I want to go back to the screen. So just start with what you guys have right now, right? You don't have to have, like I said, a whole bunch of money or credit. When I first got started in real estate, I had Wi-Fi, I had a laptop, and I had a cell phone. If you guys have those three things, type me in the chat. Type me in the chat if you have Wi-Fi, a cell phone, and a laptop. Because if you have those three things, I want you guys to engage with me as much as possible, just so I know that you guys are feeling what I'm saying. If you have those three things, I need you to know that's all you need to start a full-blown real estate business. That's all you need to start making money right now. You don't have to have those other things, all right? So for everybody that's typing me in the chat, you guys have everything you need to start your real estate business. You guys have everything you need to acquire real estate, to make money in real estate. That's all you need, and I'm about to break it down right now. So start exactly where you are right now. Use those things that you have and just do what you can, and do it as many times as it takes. You cannot quit. You cannot give up on yourself. That's one thing where a lot of people, they fail either in this journey or in any journey. They get started in something and they feel like it's too hard and they quit, or it's taking too long and they quit. It's If anything, if it was easy, everybody would do it. We've all heard that saying. So yes, it's work involved. Yes, it's a grind, but it's worth it, you guys. We're all here because we all have that like-minded mind, that like-minded mindset. So it's well worth it. So I'm your lead instructor, Rashida Robinson. I'm not gonna spend too much. I'm not gonna tell my story because I really want to get to the information. But just so you guys know, I've made my first $15,000 in real estate from wholesaling. These are the actual deals that I closed. At the time, I was doing Uber. I was not making a lot of money at all. I went through a financial hardship. Got started in real estate, joined a program similar to this where somebody was teaching me every week how to close the deals, how to set up the systems. I did the work and I made my first 15,000 through wholesaling. All right. So I'm going to skip through this presentation. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff right here. These are just some testimonials from people that are in the community who I've been teaching. Look, y'all, this is from somebody. I really wasn't planning to show you guys this, but look, this is somebody who sent me this message. Oh, and I did my first wholesale deal, $48,000 assignment fee. This is somebody that's in our Mailbox Millionaire community who's been attending the classes, and she made $48,000 off of her first wholesale deal. I asked a question in the school community, how much money does it take for you guys to leave your 9 to 5? I saw people saying 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. How would you like to close a deal every month making money like this? If that's enough to leave your 9 to 5, put a 1 in the chat, right? This is the type of money that you can make wholesale. And this is another mentee who's now partnered with us in our business. He made $105,000 in 3 months. Well, him and his team made $105,000 in 3 months, again, through wholesale and real estate. This is somebody else who got properties under contract by doing the information that I teach you guys every single Wednesday. These are some more testimonials. All right, I'm really not here to show you guys the testimonials. I just want you guys to see that if you do the work, then it actually works. All right, so we're gonna go over my top 3 methods. I'm really gonna spend time on these top 2 because this is for everybody who, again, feels like they can't get started unless they have all of these things in order. But my top, you can close deals with little to no cash. Wholesale and real estate, we're going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about purchasing real estate by leveraging partnerships. So again, you're not using your own cash or credit, you're leveraging partnerships. And then for those who have good credit, you can apply for business funding if you are in that position. All right. So number 1, wholesale and real estate. All right. I'm actually going to have a bonus class where I really deep dive into wholesale and real estate. This is how I got my first $15,000. In my opinion, you guys, this is the most easiest, simplest way to get started in real estate. And when I say easy, I don't mean that wholesaling is an easy thing. It's a grind. It's an everyday grind, but it's the easiest way to start making money in real estate because you don't need a real estate license. You don't have to take any big exam. You don't need an experience. All you need to do is follow the blueprint, again, that I teach you guys every Wednesday. So for those who don't know, wholesaling is when you're pretty much a middleman in a real estate transaction and you're just making money off the sale, right? So if you guys look at this illustration I have, this person in the middle, that's a wholesaler. That's me, that's you, that's everybody on this call. They're a wholesaler. Their job is to find a motivated seller and a cash buyer, and they put the pieces together and they make money in between. So that's what wholesaling is, all right? So just, I don't want this to go over anybody's head. So just to Ness, that's the first name I see on my screen. So Ness, let's say Ness, you are a wholesaler, right? You're doing my classes every Wednesday. You know how to evaluate deals. You know how to find a property. So you find me, and I'm a motivated seller. I tell you, Ness, I want to sell this apartment building for 100, or I want to sell this house, whatever it is, for $100,000, right? But you know how to evaluate deals. You've been in my classes, so you know that an investor. I'm saying I want to sell it for 100,000, but you know that an investor will pay 120,000 for this property. So now Ness is going to sign a contract with me saying that she's going to buy this property from me for $100,000, but she's not actually going to buy the property. There's something written in that contract that protects her from having to buy it. All right. So what she's going to do is she's going to go out and reach out to one of her cash buyers. They're going to look at the deal. She's going to let them know, listen, I got this property. I'm asking 120,000. The investor, let's say the investor is Felicia, right? So Felicia says, all right, Ness, this is a good deal. I'll give you 120,000. So now Ness, she's the middleman. She takes both of these contracts to the title company, and then Felicia's gonna wire that remember, she's the buyer. She's gonna wire that $120,000 to the title company. Now she bought the property, she's happy. That title company, they're gonna take 100,000 of that 125, or sorry, excuse me, 120. They're gonna take 100,000, deposit that into my account. Remember, I only wanted 100,000. So now I'm happy. I got my money. I'm good. And that extra $20,000 that's lingering, That's Ness. She's gonna make that money just by being the middleman, by being a wholesaler. So that's what wholesaling real estate is. Everybody on this call, you guys are involved in wholesale transactions every single day. I'm gonna unshare my screen real quick. You guys are involved in wholesaling transactions every single day, right? So how many of you guys shop at Target? Put me in the chat if you shop at Target. Put me in the chat if you shop at Walmart, or you go grocery shopping, or you do any type of transaction where you're exchanging money for goods. So everybody that's putting me in the chat, let's say you go to Target and you buy a t-shirt for $25, right? Target, they're the wholesaler in that transaction. They're the middleman, because Target bought that same shirt from China for $5. And then they sold it to you for $25, and they made that $20 in between. So you guys are, but you guys are already wholesaling. You're not wholesaling, you're involved in transactions, but now you just have to reposition yourself from the buyer to the wholesaler. All right. So now when we're talking about wholesale and real estate, all you're doing is you're just being a middleman of the transaction. All right. So again, for everybody who, and I'm gonna show you guys a deal that I actually wholesale earlier this year. For everybody, I'm gonna deep dive into wholesaling on my bonus class. I'm having it this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Anybody who grabs this bundle, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. This link that I'm dropping in the chat, you guys are gonna get access to all of the scripts and contracts that you need to close deals. I just dropped it in the chat. Anybody who purchases this link will get access to the bonus class happening this Friday at 7 p.m., where I'm going to really talk about wholesale and real estate, talk about how to find the deals, how to evaluate them, how to speak with the sellers. If you guys grab the contracts, wait until the end of the call. You're going to get a receipt, but at the end of this call, I'm going to actually email everything out. So you have to do everything manually. All right. But go ahead and grab your contracts now if you guys want to learn more about wholesale. And again, that's how I made my first 15,000. And to me, that's the best way to get started. All right, let me keep sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. So I'm gonna show you guys a deal that we did earlier this year, a wholesale deal. I'm not teaching you guys anything that I haven't done, okay? Everything that I'm teaching you, I've done it, so I know it's real, and I know you guys can do it too. All right, so wholesale and real estate. Before I get into that, the types of real estate you can wholesale: residential real estate, which is single family homes and 2 to 4 units. That's all considered residential. You can wholesale vacant land. You can wholesale commercial real estate, apartment buildings, self-storage, warehouses, car washes, laundromats. That's all commercial real estate. You can wholesale anything. We just talked about how Target wholesale shirts to us every day, right? And then I looked this up. This is a fun fact. Just last year in 2023, just in that 1 year alone, there was $119 billion worth of commercial real estate transactions just in the United States, just in that 1 year. So imagine being a middleman and just getting a percentage of that just by being a middleman, right? All you got to do is follow the blueprint that I'm teaching you guys every single Wednesday. Again, wholesaling, I'm really going to deep dive into that this Friday. So you got to click that link to get access. So this is a deal that I wholesaled earlier this year. The property that you're looking at, this is the actual property. As you can see, it's distressed, it's run down, it's abandoned. So at the bottom, this was a residential commercial property. It was mixed use. At the bottom, it was a restaurant slash bar. And at the top, it was a residential where a tenant lived there. It was like an apartment or something like that. All right. So this property was in Texas. I don't live in Texas, you guys. I live in Florida. I never been to Texas. I never met the person who owned this property, but I followed the same blueprint that I teach you guys. I pulled the list. I did some cold calling, reached out to the guy that owned this property. He bought this property back in the top of like January 2020, right before COVID hit, right before everything shut down. He bought this property from a friend. And remember when COVID hit, everything closed. Nobody could go outside, businesses, everything had to shut down. So as soon as he bought this property, he had to close down the bar and restaurant, right? So he already immediately started losing money. Not only that, he had a tenant up here. It was a bad tenant. They like set some type of small fire, so he had to kick out his tenant. So this was back in 2020. I talked to this guy in 2024. Ever since COVID happened, ever since he had to kick out his tenant, the property just been sitting vacant. He lived 3 hours away. He didn't have the time to come back and forth. And he was actually losing money. Not only did he lose all of his tenants and business, but he was still paying property taxes, insurance. So he still had to spend money, but he wasn't making. So he was in a situation where, listen, I just want to get rid of this property. I want to sell it. All right. So I spoke with him. He was asking 65,000. I was able to talk him down to 50,000. So those of you who have that bundle, we remember last week we talked about the A to B contract. I signed a contract with him saying that he was going to sell this property to me for $50,000. I don't have $50,000 sitting in the bank, right? But I still signed a contract with him. Then I found a buyer within a couple of weeks who wanted to buy the same property for me for $60,000. So I had two contracts between them. That extra $15,000, that's what we made as a wholesale fee. You guys remember this property's in Texas. I didn't have to go meet the guy in person. I didn't have to go see the property. I did this all with my laptop, my cell phone, and Wi-Fi. That's all you need. Everybody who, when I asked that question in school, how much do you need to leave your job? You guys were saying 8,000, 6,000, 10,000 per month. Imagine closing a deal like this once or twice per month. Once or twice per month. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if that's all you need to leave your 9 to 5. This is what it took for me to get, like, I never went back to a 9 to 5 once I started wholesaling. Once I saw that this was real. All right. And just to make it a little more real for y'all, that property that I showed you, these are the closing statements. All right. So I blacked out some personal information, but this is us listed as the buyer. All right. And then this is the seller right here. He sold us this property for $50,000 right here. Sale price 50,000. That same day, now you see us listed as the seller. This is the buyer that I found who bought this same property for us for 65,000. So this transaction all happened in the same day. And we were able to make that 15,000 without having to do anything but having Wi-Fi. What is it? Wi-Fi, cell phone, a laptop, and following the blueprint that I teach you guys every week. All right. So if you guys are gonna tap into my bonus class, type I'm in the chat. I'm gonna drop the link one more time where I'm gonna really deep dive into wholesaling. All right, that's the link. So if you guys want to learn more about that, my second method, I'm gonna move on. My second method for how you can start acquiring real estate, right? Now this is again for people who don't have the best credit. You don't have any access to funding. How can you go out and buy and own real estate without using your own cash or credit? Again, you guys stick around to the very end of this call so I can teach you guys how to use the mobile deal evaluator. This is for everybody that's joining the class late. I'm going to teach you guys how to evaluate deals at the end. Let me make sure I'm good on time. All right, we're good. All right, right. So let's say you've been wholesaling for a while. You're making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Now you want to go out. You're still working on your credit. You still haven't got funded, but now you want to own one of these properties. You're learning about equity. You're learning about cash flow, right? You're speaking with buyers because you're wholesaling. Now you're really in it. So now you want to own some of these properties instead of selling them to different buyers. So maybe you don't have the best credit. You don't have the best credit, but how many of us, put a one in the chat if you know somebody around you, have a friend or a family member who has a 750 credit score or 800 credit score. We all got that one friend of that family that's bragging about that credit score. And guess what? That's great that they have good credit, but what they don't know and what you're going to educate them on is that they can use that credit score and make money by partnering with you. So this is how you bring your family and your friends in to start making money with you. So because you don't have the best credit, you guys are going to follow the blueprint for everybody that's MMA, follow that business funding course, and you're going to show them how to go out and get access to $250,000, $1 million worth of funding. For those of you who are in the Mogul Elite community, use those resources inside of the classroom. Maybe you don't have the credit to do it, but show your family and your friends how to get access. Use their credit to get access. Show them how to start the LLC or add them onto your operating agreement, and how to show them how to go out and get all access to all of that funding. And then now you have a cash partner, right? So let's say you're able to show your cousin or your aunt or your best friend, they have the good credit. You show them how to get access to over $200,000, right? Now you go out, you follow the blueprint that I'm teaching you guys. You go out, you find a property, you meet me. I'm a seller. I want to sell this building for $100,000. Now you have your partner who just got funded $200,000. You're going to use that money to go buy your property. And then you just negotiate some equity, or you negotiate something so that they can make some money somehow. All right. Or let's say another way, private money lenders, hard money lenders. This is something that I learned about as I started wholesaling. The Private money lenders and hard money lenders, these are just regular people who have access to a lot of money. Maybe they have funding or whatever. They just have access to a lot of money and they need to put it somewhere so they can make more money, right? So I have private money lenders that send me emails almost every day, multiple times a day. Hey, if you get a property under contract, I'll give you 85% towards the purchase price. I'll give you 90% towards the purchase price, and all you got to do is bring another 10%. So private money lenders, they're not particularly looking at your credit like how banks do. They just want to know, okay, if this is a good deal, if I'm gonna get a return on my investment, I'll put up the money. All right. So let's say, for example, let's say, let me see, whose name do I see on here? Let's say Vaughn. Let's say, Vaughn, you are following the blueprint, you're pulling your list, you're cold calling, you come across a storage facility. I'm selling a storage facility and I want to sell the storage facility for 100,000. I'm just using easy numbers, $100,000, right? And then you present this deal to a private money lender. The private money lender looks at this deal. They say, okay, I see I'm gonna get a good return on my investment. I'll give you 85,000 toward it. That's 85%. Now you, Vaughn, you just got to bring the other 15%. So your best friend that you just show how to get funded, they're gonna use that credit card, bring the other 15%, and now between your private money lender, your cash partner, you just bought the storage facility without using any of your own cash or credit. Right, you guys, I'm showing you stuff that I have. I'm showing you everything that I've done. This is how I was able to keep in mind, y'all, I have not had funding yet. I've been in real estate for going on 5 years. I have not gotten funded yet, but I have ownership in multiple storage facilities without using my own cash or credit. And this is how I did it. All right. So I did everything that I teach you guys. I was cold calling. I came across a guy who wanted to sell 3 self-storage facilities. I got these storage facilities under contract for $850,000. It was a great deal, right? But I don't have $850,000. The bank's not going to loan me $850,000. But my business partner, everybody knows Big Mobile, he buys storage facilities. So I present the deal to him. He sees that he's going to get a good return on his investment. So he gets the money together, he gets the lending, he gets the cash partners. And because I found the deal, I now have equity in all 3 of those storage facilities. So remember when I got on this call, the first thing I said, the first thing I said, the most single important skill that you can have is really in real estate is being able to get the property under contract. If you know how to get the property under contract, you control what happens with it. And if it's a good deal, getting the money is not going to be a problem. All right. So for everybody that put me in the chat, let me see what time it is. For everybody that put me in the chat on the beginning of this call, who said that they have to wait for their credit and their cash before they can, no, you can get started now. I'm still going through that process with fixing my credit so I can get funding, but I'm still very much invested in real estate. All right. So if you guys, again, follow the blueprint that I'm giving you I'm teaching you guys how to get the contracts. I'm teaching you when I pull up that list, showing you you need your dialer, you need to pull list, you need to skip trace. That's how you get the properties. I'm here to teach you guys how to negotiate, how to evaluate the deals, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. All right. You just gotta follow that same blueprint so that you can either leverage partnerships, you can wholesale the deal. All right. And then my third method, this one I'm not going to spend too much time on. So everybody who said that they don't have the best cash or credit, that's what you want to do. You want to wholesale and you want to leverage partnerships. If you do have good credit, you can get funding. All you got to do, you're in the best position. You just apply for the business funding the same way they teach you inside of the use the resources. And then you just find your investment property and you use the bank's money to get access. All right. So those are my top 3 methods on how you go out and acquire real estate with little to no cash or credit. Wholesaling real estate, you can do commercial or residential, doesn't matter. Wholesaling real estate or buy real estate by leveraging partnerships. All right. And if you have the good credit, you just use business funding. All right. So let me know in the chat, drop some fire. Just let me know if you guys found the information valuable. Again, if you want to do the wholesaling class, I'm sorry I didn't see the questions in the chat if there were any. But if you want to do the wholesaling class, go ahead and click that link. Getting the money is not a problem when you have a good deal. That's a fact, you guys. That's a fact. Don't worry about the money. All right. You just have to acquire the skill of being able to get the properties and the contracts. So Roland asks, do you introduce yourself as a wholesaler or as a buyer? If I'm speaking with a seller, I always introduce myself as a buyer. But then I'll let them know I don't necessarily come out and say I'm wholesaling a property, even though some sellers don't mind. but I'll just tell them that I'm a buyer. But if for whatever reason I don't keep this deal, I do have business partners that might be interested. So I just kind of kick it to them that way. I'll get more into that on in the class on Friday. How long did it take me to get my first deal? It took me 4 months to get those 2 deals under contract, and it took me 6 months to close them all together. And I'm gonna be honest, Steve, you asked that question. That's a good question. It took me 4 months, but honestly, them first 3 months, I was kind of in and out, in and out. Like I was kind of in it, but I wasn't consistent. It really took me 30 days. Like when I decided that, okay, I'm gonna be consistent, I got my system set up, I'm gonna just put my head down and go. Within 30 days, I had 2 properties under contract and I was able to close those deals. So it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. All right. So good questions, good questions. I think there was one last question. Will there be a way I can watch this again? Yes, this will be recorded. This will be recorded inside of the